Goal number 700 for Cristiano Ronaldo's club career gives Man United the win, the comeback win, 2-1 against Everton after Iwobi puts the ball in the back of the net with a screamer for the Toffees. Antony makes it 3 goals in his first 3 Premier League games, the first Manchester United player in history to do that. United get the 3 points. They bounce back after the humiliating defeat at the hands of Manchester City last week. And one of the best performances, the commentators said, of Manchester United's season so far. And look, I think for me, I would agree. I think especially in that first half, we dominated the midfield. Eriksen, Bruno, and of course, Casemiro. He did make a mistake in the lead up to the goal. He's got to toughen up a bit, and we're going to talk about him more. But United deserved it. We went for a counter-attack approach in the second, and Rashford did get the 3rd goal. It was a completely legitimate goal, we all thought. Ruled out for handball, only for this goal earlier on today for Antonio to be given. The inconsistency there is massive. Nobody will really call it out, though, because, of course, it's Manchester United and no one cares. And we won the game, and I understand that. So Rashford should have had his 9th goal contribution of the season. It should have been a more relaxed last 5 to 10 minutes of the game. But 3 points nevertheless. This season is really starting to heat up now. The only member of the top 6 not to win this weekend, of course, being Liverpool Football Club. I'm joined in the studio by Jessica Black, by Tom Little, and Colleen. How are we all doing?
Good.
I'm good.
Are you feeling a bit better now, Tom? Or?
No, because Man United won.
But Everton lost, so I guess
No,
win?
No, not even that, because Man United won. I was hoping for a draw.
I don't know. I don't know how to help you.
Really bad draw. Like a 0-0, no one enjoyed it. Should have just never happened draw. That was the only way I'd feel better, but no.
A weekend to forget.
Instead, my captain's embroiled in controversy.
And you've already been called out by Kim there, who's noticed you're wearing a Bayern Munich shirt. You've already quit.
Flip-flop fan.
Who's on the back? Who's on the back?
Mane.
We can't see. You got to stand up. Yeah.
Mane. He's lost it. He's absolutely lost it. He's meant to be a Liverpool fan.
Bayern Munich only drew, not lost.
Yeah,
so
he's. But do you know what? He has got the Liverpool shirt underneath. He has got it underneath. I'm not trusting him.
When it's back on.
It's actually nice. I'm really happy Man United won, though, because seeing everybody else be happy this weekend and Liverpool being upset, I just didn't want to trip up on that. When Iwobi scored that goal, we were obviously live on the other show, and I was panicking. I was legitimately panicking. But I think first player I want to speak about today, Antony. 3 games, 3 goals. What are we saying?
He's annoying me, to be honest with you, as a rival fan, that he's coming for this amount of money and is actually scoring goals, if I'm honest with you.
Were you hoping for an agenda?
Yeah, I was hoping. I wanted an agenda, I'll be honest with you. But I really like the way he opens his body up. It gives me Thierry-esque vibes. And I think he's one of the shining lights from a stop-start season for Manchester United, where they're trying to build on something. Now, when he plays, you kind of get the feeling he is going to score if he gets through one-on-one, even if he's got 2 defenders on him. Definitely one of your bright sparks when people thought it might be Alanga or someone else.
Yeah, I mean, one of my biggest things with Antony is that, it's all about end product in those positions. And there's a lot of people that love the flair and the tricks and the flicks, but don't necessarily care about efficiency. And if Antony had come in and just started doing the whirly bird thingy that he does, the 360 move, but wasn't actually putting the ball in the back of the net, it would have been like, okay, what are you doing? And then I was also thinking, would the price tag kind of be on top of his head? Would he not be able to be relaxed and stuff coming to Manchester United? But it looks like he's passing all of those tests. And so the last thing you want to do is spend the amount of money that you spend on Antony after you spent it on Sancho, and then both of them kind of be out of sync. And so I think that Antony is doing a really good job. And hate him.
He's not led the situation overall, and that was a big worry for United. He's coming from Ajax to United for such a big fee. Is he going to get overawed by the price tag and the situation?
Yeah.
He's still playing his game. He's still playing how he wants to, and he's still performing for United, and he's helping them get results, and that's the big thing. And will he move on from this? You'd assume so. But if he continues to do what he's doing at the minute and doesn't progress, that's still a very effective player for Man United, which is something that they've lacked for years. And if you're looking at that current makeup of that squad, you're looking at Antony as their most dangerous attacker in terms of what he brings, the danger he poses in terms of runs and his creativity. So I can't believe I'm saying this because you've been so bad at it for so many years. Has Manchester United's recruitment been perfect this summer? Not perfect, but very, very, very good.
It's a good question. I mean, look, on Antony, I'm going to say this and be really fair. I think that I still want a lot more from him. As in, I do want a bit of flair. I do want some skills and some tricks, but I always want end product. You know, I take your step overs and your Cruyff turns away. If you're not going to score, you're not going to assist. That's your job. And he scored 3 Premier League games running. But it's a good base. I was saying earlier on today that he's got that monkey off his back. He's got that pressure off of him now. He's not searching for that first goal. And all 3 of his goals have actually been very good, very well taken. Similar body position. He gets his first touch, opens his body up, far corner each time. I want to see more, but what an excellent start. And to think all the great players we've signed, none have scored 3 league games running. I think to do that, hopefully it's going to help with his confidence. But in terms of Man United's recruitment, it has been phenomenal. And we didn't get all the players we want, but we bought profiles of players that the manager wanted. And a lot of people said a week ago, is Casemiro really a Ten Hag signing? And I said on the Top 6 show, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting because I'm waiting for him to start playing to see what he can do. And he did. He got caught on the ball today that led to a goal.
You saw the best and the worst of Casemiro in one game.
And then after that, he steps up. And I still think it's going to take him time to settle. I still think it's going to take Casemiro time to become a Man United player, especially as it's a new style for him as well. Everything's changing at the same time, but I don't believe that he wasn't a player. The club are going to fob us off. The Glazers were going to fob Man United off with Rabiot, and then they went out and spent all this money on a Casemiro. That, for me, was directed and pushed by Erik ten Hag. We know that Lisandro Martinez has been a phenomenal signing so far this year.
Signings have had really positive moments.
And Malacia is on the bench again now, and Luke Shaw was excellent today coming in for him. But Malacia is young, and it's going to take him time. And no one should be expecting Man United signings or the team, the system to be the finished article just yet. But I'm very, very proud of the fact that we got battered in those opening 2 games. We looked absolutely shocking. But we've come back from that, and no one's suggesting we're back as in going to be challenging for titles anytime soon. But even Luke Shaw, and I really wanted to call him out today because he got dropped after being awful like Maguire in those opening 2 games. He looks the slimmest I've seen him look in a long, long time. He looks fit. He's come back in, and 2 games running now, I've been impressed with his performance after coming on the football pitch. And today, I thought he was phenomenal on that left-hand side today. And that's what I want. That is what I've been screaming out for 9 years now. Meritocracy. You drop people for performing badly, and then you demand they fight hard to get back in the team.
Needs as well. Coming up to a World Cup, he's picked the right time to get his performances back up to scratch because as much as he was good during the Euros, there was a bit of doubt going into it. Is Chilwell going to get the nod? Is he going to go for something mental like Saka? Luke Shaw has firmly put his foot back in that door and gone, I'm an option for you, Gareth. I can give you something that you can't get from anyone else.
Ten Hag and Gareth will want to see from Shaw now is keep this level and maintain it up until the World Cup starts.
Absolutely. And I think another thing that stood out to me, I was so happy that Sancho didn't touch the pitch today. And I say that because he's been good this season. I've enjoyed him up until the international break. The way he performed against City, everybody was poor. But the mistake he made at the week against Ammonia, whatever they are. No disrespect to them, but I don't even know who they are. I never heard of them until they were in our group. And the way he gave the ball, helped give the ball away, and then didn't run back. For me, you punish a player by dropping them, and if you don't need to bring them on, you keep him on the bench. You let him know that you don't get to be lazy at Manchester United ever.
And
he's such a big message there.
The big message is you're behind in the pecking order with Cristiano Ronaldo. You're behind him because I mean you could have brought Sancho on, for Martial
struggled to even get
and move Rashford into the middle, and he didn't do that. He brought Cristiano Ronaldo on, and I get Ronaldo is an amazing player, but equally he's had his own issues
especially
this season.
When Martial went off as well. That was a big chance for Sancho to come on, but he's made the
that
big
just
decision.
shows where he's at in Ten Hag's eyes. So he has a ways to probably make it up, but when you have these wins as a manager, when you drop players and then you win the game, it just reinforces that you're the right person for the job and you know what you're saying. And so players that may have been on the fence about Ten Hag or thinking like, does this guy really have what it takes to take us to the next level? Will start to look around and say, maybe he does, because what he's doing is working.
still feel like there's a long way to go for United. I still think there's and I think we all can agree, and I'm sure everyone is not getting too carried away with Manchester United.
There's positives, but there's more that you need to see.
Who, me? Am I getting carried away? You all sitting there with me. You saw how nervous I was during that game, and it's when I speak the least. And I'm a very verbose person. I don't like seeing my team be like this. I wanted to feel comfortable, and I don't. I'm just happy to be getting wins right now. That's how I kind of feel about it. I'm not looking beyond each game, just personally. I'm looking more at what we're doing behind the scenes. I'm looking at the introduction of meritocracy, rewarding people for being good, punishing people for being poor. But if someone's lazy, they're in real trouble, because you can have a bad game and come back from it. For me, there is no excuse. This is my mantra in life. Laziness is unforgivable every single day of the week. I've got no time for it. It's why I employ KJ. It's why Javern's so important to me here. I don't like laziness. And if you're lazy, in my personal life, I'll sack you. I'll get rid of you. Like I can't do it. So when I look at my football club, I just hold my football players that play for my club to my standards of life. And that's what I want to see more of. Yes, I want the football to get better. And I felt in the first half was probably the best I've seen us play football under Ten Hag, especially after going a goal down. What we didn't do is panic. And for me, that was really key. We didn't panic. We didn't overextend ourselves. We just carried on playing our game. And we created multiple opportunities to score. And we got 2 goals in the first half of a game, which we don't do that often. We haven't done it very often as a United fan. So I'm not getting carried away at all, personally. That's just me.
It does bring up that debate, though, about the second half and the way you just suddenly switched like that. And you went from such a positive team that were really giving the games to Everton away from home to a team that were on the back foot and on the brink for a lot of that second half. If Amadou Onana could head a football, real trouble.
If God forbid they get a shot on target or a header on target, could be a game. But I mean, you create your own luck.
God forbid they're 6'5" midfielders able to head a football.
If I was just a salty rival, I would do what people were doing to us last season when we were holding on in second halves, but we were excited about wins. This is just what Man United need to do until they can play the football that Ten Hag wants to play. It's going to take time, but if you're getting wins at this point, you're in a good place.
You'll take them wherever they can come.
100%, 100%, because it's...
Some managers get the praise for grinding out the wins.
Yeah, sometimes you only have 45 minutes of playing well, and then you drop off because the mentality's not there. You can't keep it up. It happens. You're in a process.
No, 100%. And that's why, again, we are in a process. I loved how people rejected that kind of talk a few years ago. And now it's flavor of the month. Everybody's loving it. We have a super chat here. Says, heads did not go down. That is a positive. And Baz, you're spot on, mate. That was a real important thing. VK Dean here says, Antony haters say what? Absolutely. Like, they're gone. They're finished. They don't exist anymore. Shout out to Luke Shaw. His overlaps allowed Rashford to become a threat, and you've got to give credit where credit is due. And Luke Shaw was very good.
He's a very good left back. When he's really on it and when he's really focused, he's a very, very good left back for any team.
It's just few and far between.
This is from Fraser, who says Liverpool are 10th. There we are.
Bayern Munich is second, mate. We're loving life.
But I've had a lot of people comment this, and just want to say, I've heard there's been an incident between Henderson and Gabriel. I'm not going to talk on it until I've done my research, because that would be very irresponsible. We're hearing some really bad things, but I'm going to keep my powder dry until I know what I've got to see it. I've got to listen to it. I've got to see what the accusation is. But yeah, we have heard. So I'm going to say this about the Terrace. We're literally the only YouTube channel that can put our hands up high and say we never shy away from these conversations. So yeah, of course we'll be addressing it when the time is right and correct to do so. Neeks here says Tom is as shameless as Colleen in that Bayern shirt.
If you want to be more shameless, I put on my shirt, so I'm still looking like.
No.
Why am I catching a stray?
Because you're both shameless. You're both shameless chavs.
Okay. Shame the shameless chat.
But just to let the chat know, Neeks was saying yesterday that Haaland wasn't going to get his goal. He wasn't a prince. He wasn't this. He wasn't that. And like 5 minutes later, Haaland scores. He's the most shameless person I've ever met, because he will not just say he got it wrong on Haaland. He got it wrong. Neeks.
Yeah.
He can't be wrong.
Is shameless.
Are you going to respond to that, mate? You've been
I don't know where
cautious.
Neeks is at. What you're saying, Colleen? Where is your PSG shirt?
It's at home until it's time to roll it back out again. So see you on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, people.
See, this is the thing. You'll never get viewers of the terrace. You'll never get that with me. I believe, and this is my fervent belief. If your boyfriend or your girlfriend wears another club's football shirt other than their own, dump them because they are cheats. So Tom Little's girlfriend, if you're watching, get rid of him tonight. Get yourself out on the town. Get on Plenty of Fish or Tinder or I don't. What are the other dating? I don't know.
What happened to being team fluid?
Yeah,
I'm just team fluid. I'm just associating with
mine was a joke. You're for real.
I'm associating with
We saw you celebrate those Arsenal goals. There was no jokes around here. Let me tell you that for sure.
I
was seeing sprint down the middle.
Yeah.
Knee slides.
I'll be honest with you. I was celebrating them Arsenal goals serious today because I've invested a lot of stock. I've a lot of stock in Arsenal this year, and I feel like there's a lot of people gunning for it to go wrong. Excuse the pun, but there we go. We are going to talk Rashford's goal. We are going to speak about the GOAT a little bit later as well. 700 club league goals. Club goals in total, for Cristiano Ronaldo, the GOAT. We'll be talking about him a little bit later in the show. Make sure like buttons are being smashed, by the way. Make sure you're subscribing as well. First on the show of us, back from his holiday. He's here. KJ's with us. What you saying, mate?
Yo, people, don't let Terry fool you with this shirt agenda, bruv. You know what I mean? He's out here. He's invested stocks in Arsenal. He's also invested bare money, bruv. Like I've seen it in the memorabilia in his yard. He got the Arsenal poster. He's got a Saka poster that he prays to. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is. On the game though, listen, Neeks. I'll chat to Neeks in a sec. On the game. Oh, we love to make it difficult for ourselves. We really do. We're gonna need time. Like we going to need time. That's all I saw from this game. Is that there's players in this team that they look like they're gonna improve, and then they just look like they're doing nothing. There's players in this team that don't look like they're gonna improve, and they improve. Like there's so many variables in this team that aren't consistent yet that we're just gonna need time. These games are gonna come a lot. You know what I mean? They're gonna come a lot. So the fact that we got through it at the end, even though VAR doesn't want to be consistent, the Premier League and the FA don't want to be consistent with how the games are reffed, then we still made it through. So yeah, happy with the win. Luke Shaw's performance was really good. Really impressed by that. David De Gea, excellent performance from him as well. Called upon when he was needed. He actually came out of his box. I was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Distribution was good as well.
So low there.
So like literally very, very good performance from a lot of the players. Not the best performance they're low, but he will learn from that. He's very determined to be Ten Hag's right back. So yeah, in terms of Neeks, okay, Neeks, wants to come at me because I like to call Ronaldo old because that's what he is. You know what I mean? In terms of football, 37/38. Is an older person. He's an OAP. You need the Zimmer frame out. You know what I mean? I love this goal. Congratulations on 700. Absolute legend of the game of football. But if that was a centre back that was not called Cody, that is getting caught up. You know what I mean? It was a Zimmer frame race. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, Neeks, Ronaldo is just an old man. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. It's you, people like you, Neeks, who can't accept that. You know what I mean? You like to just be like, oh, he can still do this, he can still do that. No, he can't. Like today's game was perfect for him. Come off the bench. The defense wasn't that great. Let him get into the game. I love that. When we're expecting him to be high action, high octane, high pace, that's just not his game anymore. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. People want to say that I'm 36 and I'm hating. One, I'm not 36. And two, I love Ronaldo. Yeah, like I love Ronnie, bro. Like it's Ronaldo, fam. How can I not love that brother? Man, I was doing up Sue when he first came. When I was a kid, I was like, yo, get me a Portugal shirt with Ronaldo on the back. When my parents went to Portugal, I got that. You know what I mean? So it's not like a hating thing of Ronaldo. It's just I accept what he is, and he is just an older person. It's okay.
Listen, I hear you on it, and we're going to move on talking about him a little bit later. He did what he did. Thoughts on Casemiro's first? I think it's his first Premier League start. What was your thoughts?
How can a person drop a 9 out of 10 and a 2 out of 10 at the same time, bro? It's crazy. When people were saying, "Why isn't he starting? What's Ten Hag doing? He needs to be playing every game." This is why. Like this is legit why. We've seen it in the games that he's played. he is still adapting to the way we play. He's still adapting to the way we play football in England. So he's supposed to like just literally just give him time. And that the fact that they scored the goal off his mistake, it was upsetting because it was kind of like this is the reason why you're not there yet. You know what I mean? I do believe you'll get there. I do believe you'll be a starting DM for the next potentially 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
But we just need to literally is what his 10th game in English football. Like literally, everyone needs to relax. You know what I mean? Everyone needs to like stop making him like he has to be number one. Like
what I find interesting about it is that you've got a manager like Klopp. A number of his signings, some of them in their early 20s, some of them in their mid 20s. Quite a few of his signings, he's bled in very slowly into the team. Fabinho stands out as an example, Konate as another. So for me, I almost feel like I've got the same energy here. Let's give it a little bit of touch. Why I didn't want to say last week.
From a very different role, Casemiro. Real Madrid, where he was his best, he was a destroyer of sorts. His job there wasn't to facilitate; it was to win the ball back and then quickly pass it off to.
He also look. No disrespect to Bruno and Ericsson, but he also used to have peak Tony Kroos and Modric either side of him. Modric, there's an argument that he goes into the conversation as one of the top 3 midfielders in La Liga history. So you have to factor that in, that he's not playing with as much quality. But yeah, I hear you on that. KJ, listen, bro, I appreciate
one last thing as well, Tony. One last thing before we go, quick one. I love Tony Martial. Everyone knows how much I love Tony. Him and Rashford are 2 of my favorite players at Man United. If he can't stay fit, why is he here? Like, why is he here? And this is coming from a guy that, like, if I could pick 2 players from Man United to take us all the way, it would be Martial and Rashford. It would be. But he's just not available, whether it's mentally or physically. Like, physically, his body's breaking down, and mentally, he'll go through periods where he's just not there, and where he'll just his form just drops off. So if you're not available mentally and physically for this football club, as much as I love you, why are you here? And I hope it's a minor injury and he gets over it quick and he can build his body back up to being robust like he used to when he first came. Yeah, it's looking very worrying. Like it really is.
I hear you, KJ. Top man for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it, bro. We'll chat again soon.
Bring Neeks next. I see him. Bring Neeks. Come
on in a bit, mate. He'll be on. I think with Martial, it's interesting what KJ said there, and that's like, this is where we find out whether the Glazers are really turning a corner. This is when you find out whether or not they're serious, because Ten Hag still wants Cody Gakpo, who started the season fantastically. A serious club who have an aging Ronaldo that's leaving at the end of the year, Martial that's had 3 injuries in 8 games, who can't stay fit. We are threadbare in that area. Something happens to the Rashfords and the Antonys. They're the guys scoring and assisting the majority of the goals up there. We need to go out and invest. And you've already seen the reports from the credible United press that Man United might wait until the summer before they spend more money. Now, you're not waiting. There ain't any money. You guys don't want to pump any more in, you know? And that £31 million dividend is the exact asking price of Cody Gakpo. And that's why when people always go, you're always blaming the Glazers. Well, because of situations like this. And we need to invest more money.
That 31 million dividends that people are saying is the issue, when in reality, that doesn't get paid up front. I think the annoyance between United fans and a little bit between Liverpool fans in a sense is, you're sitting there and you're looking at these players and you're seeing £80 million transfer fees, but you don't pay it over, like you pay it over 5-6 years. So it's actually only like 18, 17. You can afford that each season. So go out and do it because it brings long-term success. That's the big issue here in terms of United, I think, is you will see a growth. You'll see a little bit of growth. You'll get Gakpo and you'll get a couple others in, and you'll get to a level where you're like, oh, this is good. This couple more years will challenge. But your owners, the people in charge, the people who decide where the funds go, will go, oh, I don't like how much we're spending. We can't afford to do that next year. So we'll cut it down. You'll get one more like that, and you make it work. Yeah. And then you'll just slowly fall back down. And then you'll do the same thing in years come by. It's a cycle. And unless these clubs nip it in the bud, you'll be stuck in it.
So, look, I couldn't agree with you more on that, and more investment is needed. I've been called out here by Mark. Oh, hang on a minute, where's it gone? I'm trying to put it on the screen. Why won't it go up? Here it is. He says, Terry and all these fans who said Ronaldo is finished. What have I got to say now? I said that he would still score goals for us. But we weren't as good when he came on, because what he can't do is press and move and run around the pitch in the same way as he would have been able to have done 5, 10,
Even
15,
when you look at that goal,
15 years ago. And from my perspective, he is past his best. He is finished as being a out-and-out world-class footballer, but he still will score goals, there's no doubt. But to not look beyond him would be an absolutely ridiculous decision for the football club to make. And you're not going to find someone who loves, barring fanboys that support Ronaldo, not football clubs, you won't find a Man United fan that respects him more.
Even when you look at that goal as well, give it 5 years ago, Conor Cody does not get anywhere near Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of stopping that. But today, Conor Cody was probably about 3 seconds away from putting a sliding tackle and putting out for a corner.
I think that's the issue with fans and the Ronaldo kind of narrative, is that a year ago, the fans were talking about building a United squad around Ronaldo, which doesn't make sense because he's still a very good goal scorer, but he's limited in what he used to be able to do.
Yeah.
And everyone's still remembering Ronaldo from Madrid and back at his first time at United. The role that he's doing now, whether he likes it or not,
he's a world-class poacher, is what he is.
It works now. So when he comes on and does this, it works. You're not building the squad around Ronaldo, and I think that's just the fine line that people need to accept, the changing in regard.
Isn't it funny how people forget all the chances that he missed over the last couple of games? Like, I remember watching you guys against
even the last game,
Ammonia or whatever. Like, it's funny because he scores one goal and then all of a sudden it's like his form has been great and you just couldn't see it. He has not been great. You know, he's been missing chances that he should have made. And it doesn't mean that when people criticize him for not finishing the chances that he should, that people think he's crap. There's some people that go too far. But he scored one goal today after missing loads of chances and not being up to it, you know, in my opinion. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Without a doubt. Neeks is with us now. What you saying, Neeks?
Yeah, what do you have to say?
Good panel you got there today. Good to see everyone. First time I watched today, so I didn't even know that you had them all in the studio. Unlucky Liverpool. Well done, Arsenal. Jess is happy. Colleen's not happy because Colleen supports PSG. And that's why Colleen's shameless, because Colleen tried to get on to me at the end of last season for, you know, celebrating the small wins that we could as Manchester United. And at the same time, she was donning her PSG shirt because Arsenal couldn't get top 4. So Colleen is shameless, and that's why I had to name drop her in my first message.
I'm just learning from you, babe. I'm just learning from you.
I've got away with absolute murder. Did I have one on the
What do you mean? I've not even got my PSG shirt on.
The other one.
I'm just saying. Everyone can see that Tom is shameless. They wasn't sure why I said it about Colleen, but that's why. But let me deal with KJ quickly, because. No, obviously it's all love, isn't it? But we're in some Man United group chats, or one specifically, and every time Ronaldo plays, and granted he hasn't really played that much this season, Europa League and whatever, anytime he has maybe a bad touch or misses a chance, it's just pure slander in the chat. Not just from KJ, but from others in there. KJ is one of them. And it's like, Ronaldo's old. Why is he here? He needs to leave. And I'm just like, really? I'm in my head. I don't have the energy to respond.
Is he not old and does he not need to leave?
But everyone, there's other players who are also bad.
That is their point.
No.
He needs to leave for the club.
But I don't think he doesn't need to leave. If he wants, if we're gonna get rid of him, he can get rid of him. If he stays, he stays. He is here, so he's a Man United player. So you praise him or criticize him as you do every other Man United player. The criticism that Cristiano Ronaldo gets, and equally at times, as Jess mentioned, the praise that he gets goes overboard. For example, he has a bad game. He didn't even have a terrible game against Nicosia, but he missed is it Nicosia? Ammonia, sorry. But he missed a few chances, and he's terrible, worst player, needs to leave. Then he scores today, and some people will say, "Oh, you know, greatest player in the world." So it does go from one extreme to the next. But I'm dealing with the fact that he gets unnecessary slander purely because of his age. Because at his age, he's still better than a lot of other players who don't get that level of criticism. Cristiano Ronaldo last year was our top goal scorer, and he has not become a bad player overnight, is my main point. but the analysis goes as far as to suggest that he's now a bad player. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. He's a bad run of form.
Are the fans suggesting that he's a bad player, though? Are they suggesting that he's a bad player, or is it he doesn't fit the way the club's going, so there's no point in us playing him and utilising him when we're not going to use him in the future?
All right, I'll give you an example, and I'm not going to name no names because I said I don't have anything personal against them, but Ronaldo hits the post against Ammonia. And Man United fans are laughing at the fact that a Man United player missed a chance.
Name the names.
No, I'm not going to do that. But not because it's across social media anyway.
Neeks, I hear you, mate. There is a difference, though, and I know you're calling out KJ in jest to a degree.
It's in jest.
Yeah, no, KJ is, but there are some Man United fans that are strangely happy that Man United fans are happy that Ronaldo is now past his best. But we all know what that is. That's because these people have been saying that he's overrated and not that good for 15 to 20 years.
No, but Terry, these are Man United fans who before we came back to Man United,
they're not though. They're not. And I know that we're all told on social not to say what a fan is. These are the same people that will cry when their favorite player gets abused, but then themselves abuse other players. They are fanboys of one or two individuals, and they're just unfortunately connected to Manchester United. It's unfortunate that you can't be a fan of United and laugh at one of our greatest ever football players becoming old. It's weird to me. That's
the point. So today when Ronaldo scored, I said to KJ, no, you can't celebrate. It's 1-1 for you. It's still 2-1 for me. You need someone else to score because as far as you're concerned, Ronaldo shouldn't be here. But that was just a bit of banter in it. And Jess, finally. I don't know how you brought this little Haaland little dig slander and you misrepresented me. We know that Mbappe is clear. Yeah, I said it. Mbappe is clear of Haaland.
You acted like this man was not about to score against Southampton.
But what I said was
he didn't score early on.
Let me say. Well, what I said was because the question was what we're going to talk about on the stream with Man City. Oh, they won again. Mm-hmm. I said Haaland's missed 2 basically sitters. That's what we can talk about. And then someone said Mbappe is smiling. I said Mbappe don't care what Haaland's doing. Mbappe is a prince. Mbappe is the next best thing. That's what I was saying, innit? But we'll deal with my Haaland predictions and comments at the end of the season. The season is long. And Darwin Núñez scored today, so he's closing in.
Neeks, I love that optimism, mate. You've got more optimism than the entire Liverpool fan base put together. So I appreciate that.
Neeks, bro, always a pleasure to speak, mate. We'll chat again soon. Top man.
Cool.
Cheers, mate. Bye. It's an interesting comment I wanted to go to here, actually. It says, it seems clear to me that there is friction between Ronaldo and Rashford. Half celebrated each other's goals, even if Rashford's didn't count. That's not half celebrating Ronaldo's goal to me. And maybe Jay, you didn't see this, but that's Rashford first to get to Ronaldo. He doesn't. Yeah, I mean, look, maybe he's calling him a wanker. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But...
hold on, sorry. Yeah, he hasn't sued alongside. Look what I'm thinking. The exact same thing right next to him.
JC,
he done it and then realised, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. This here says, hi, Colleen. I've made arrangements for a romantic week to Mauritius. Just need you to say yes. Really happy with the results. And I love Erik ten Hag.
What's your answer?
I mean, can I go to the Mauritius and take someone with me?
Yeah, him.
Oh, no, but someone else.
Only my man here. That's
my response.
You're only allowed to take I cut my thoughts.
I'm dead.
Anyway, I think the next one talks about De Gea's distribution.
Yeah.
Really good.
David De Gea's distribution was excellent today and has drastically improved under Ten Hag. Look, there's been things that he's done. There's been things he's done that have been better. Like United fans have noticed. It's.
But your standards aren't high.
Yeah, exactly. Like a crispy pancake, half cooked, tastes good when you're starving. You know, like bad food tastes good when you're starving. So he has got better, but Man United need like a next level. However, when it comes to shot stopping, I still say he's the best in the league, generally speaking. And that shot from Ghana. The save.
The storyline was written. The storyline was written. Ghana against his former club, first Premier League start, smashes at top corner. But David De Gea denied it.
De Gea was great.
Even when you're sitting there and saying that weird pancake analogy, I'll give it that. You do have a point.
Have you never
because-
had a crispy pancake?
No.
A Finder's crispy pancake?
My missus knows how to make pancakes.
No, but they're not pancakes. They're basically used to get them from Iceland. They were frozen, and I don't even know what they were made of, but they were just like cheap, nasty food. Like they were before turkey Twizzlers. Do you get what I mean? And so maybe I'm a bit dating it. It was nasty
You're
food.
probably a little bit before my time there. aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, we know 14, 15 now. How old are you, Tom? I know. He's mum and dad are standing there ready to take him home. We won't be too much longer, Mr. and Mrs. Little. Yes. Oh, they've got your comforter ready.
Yeah.
You got a little blanket ready. Sorry, young Tom. My weird analogy, but continue. Sorry.
No, but like you're saying, he's I've probably put him as one of the worst at distributing it in this league, and he's went from one of the worst to one of the slightly worst. That's the issue that United have to get over, because when you look at all these top teams, Arsenal, I'm not even going to put us in that conversation anymore.
Arsenal top team.
Yeah, I have to put you in there.
Arsenal.
City, even Chelsea to an extent, they've made the big decision to drop Mendy because he's not as good with his feet. It's a primary form of playmaking, and David De Gea cannot do it to the elite level. And if you want to get back to that elite level, you need a goalkeeper that can do it, because when you're watching individual games, you're sitting there going, good pass, doesn't really mean nothing. If you look back at it in a season, and I'm sure there's a Twitter comp in there somewhere about it, you'll find out that these keepers create 3-4 goals a season based off their distribution that catches people out. So if you stick with David De Gea next season, for as many goals as he saves you with his fantastic shot stopping,
He cost you some.
he costs you as many, if not more, with his distribution in terms of what you don't get and what he concedes on an individual level.
I don't think they will stick with him. I think it's like you just can't do everything at once. And what goalkeeper is actually out there? Like, also,
Robert Sanchez, Brighton's goalkeeper. I think he's fantastic at that.
No, he's awful shot stopper.
I think
though.
he's. I think he's.
What you can't. Sorry to interject. What you can't do though is get an average shot stopper just because he's brilliant with his feet. I'd rather the best shot stopper in the world average with his feet than brilliant with his feet, but lets too many loose goals in. I know De Gea has made mistakes as well, but like someone like Sanchez, I mean,
does it depend on where you are in terms of how you're supposed to challenge? So if you're at a top 4 club, you're sitting there going, I want the shot stopper because he'll win us more points in the overall. But if you're trying to get these 1 or 2 points to win a title, you're sitting there going, I would rather take the 6 points he wins us with his distribution than the either 4 or 8 he loses us with his shot stopping.
I don't know. I want someone who keeps the goals out. I mean, that's the thing with I want both. I'm a Man United fan. We spend as much money as Man City. I want both of them things. Like, I'm gonna be really, really greedy. You know, I want both. So that's my view. We're gonna speak to my Dizzy in a minute, but just a quick look, and then we're talking about the GOAT. Then we're talking about Ronaldo, 700 goals.
You're talking about
Messi. Get out my studio. We don't do that in here. We don't do that in here. Before that, though, we're taking a quick look at the top half of the Premier League table. As you see, Arsenal riding high on 24 points. Man City second. Tottenham sitting third. Then you've got Chelsea and Man United with a game in hand, I will add, over Tottenham's and Man City, sitting there in 4th and 5th. Newcastle, Brighton, Bournemouth, and then Fulham in the league. And it's starting to, you're seeing 2 teams slightly pulling away. I think that, Chelsea, Man United, I mean, interestingly, Chelsea's game in hand is Liverpool. So it's Man United. I think one of their games in hand is Palace at home and somebody else. But they nicked those wins, which most people expected. You're looking at 19 and maybe 18 points. It's very, very tight for the top 4 race right now.
Who'd have thought Bournemouth would be ahead of Liverpool after that?
Yeah, absolutely no need, Colleen. Absolutely no need.
I don't even see you on the page.
Can you see Liverpool, anyone?
I don't see you on the
Hello?
page. I'm like, where are they?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Hold on, why are we both about Liverpool? We're on about Arsenal, who won't stay, Manchester United, and the local club of Bayern Munich. That's what we're on about today.
Yeah, Man United games in hand with Palace and Leeds, but everyone had one they missed. So it was only one game in hand. But give us. I wish we played the Leeds game because we always beat Leeds. So that'd be 18 points. But yeah, that top 4 race is looking a little juicy. We'll come on to that a little bit later. Oh, my Dizzy's with us now. Viewers, make sure you're smashing like buttons. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Dizzy, what you saying, my friend?
Hello. First thing, Terry, you're weird, fam. Your analogies are weird. I swear to God.
He ripped off his shirt live on a stream. It's cool and tell wins.
No, I don't think.
I hear it.
I don't
Do you
think
know
that's
what?
weird.
Maybe the choice I'm making, because it's funny, all the older people in the comments were like, oh yeah, you're right, Terry, they were disgusting. But you young kids,
I
you've
have,
been
yeah, nah.
better
You're talking about
nutrition,
the poor
better
turkey
nutrition.
Twizzlers family. Yeah, I don't know.
Jane
But yeah,
Miller.
so on the game, there's a few things. The Ronaldo slander, like I said after the ammonia game, I was like, it's a bit overdone because he had a period last season where he looked a bit like a mess. And then he started scoring and then he kind of got his act together. So, I have faith in him. We're gonna look rocky, we're gonna look shaky, we're gonna look a little bit disheveled, and then there's gonna be times where we play some really good football, like we saw today. The first half, I think for the first, after the goal, I think for the 35 minutes after that, we look really solid, and then we look shaky as we will at the beginning of a process. One thing that pissed me off though is Luke Shaw's performance. I'm not gonna lie, he was so good that it pissed me off.
Oh,
Right. Okay.
Hear me out. We know that he has it in him. We have seen him do it. But for some reason, he thinks that it's acceptable to get fat and slug around the pitch at other times of the season. I don't like it. I hate it so much. So for me, the jury's out on Luke Shaw. I would praise him for today. He played a really good game. However, I'm waiting for the day that he gets fat again, because I just believe that he inevitably will.
when do you think that is? Do you think it's before the World Cup or after?
Oh, no. It'll be after the World Cup. I think it'll be once he is. So here's my prediction. I got a little crystal ball here. So what he's gonna do? He's gonna play really well, make it look like he's turned the corner. People are gonna start calling him Shawberto Carlos again. He might even get maybe, I think, 3 assists before January, right? And then the World Cup happens. He comes back from the World Cup, and then he's going to be a little bit sluggish. He's going to be off the pace for a couple games. Then he gets dropped. And then he's just going to, the rest of the season is going to peter out. And then there's going to be an injury. And then he's going to say, oh, I'm ready now at the end of the season, because his contract's up at the end of the season. So invariably, there's going to be some more Luke Shaw issues. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. He pisses me off, bro.
Up at the end of the season, that's a lot of value to let go for free.
Yeah, look, I think it's the thing with Luke Shaw. It's all about consistency, though, and we've seen some good stuff from him, and we've seen so much bad stuff. And I'm a bit like you. I like seeing what I see now, but it annoys me that we don't get it on a more regular basis. And you've got to think he's been at the club by the end of the season. 9 years, a long. Like he's one more year away from testimonial level, and there certainly needs to be more from him. Question for you, Dizzy. Are you growing any confidence that Man United can push for the top 4, or is that far too early to speak about that?
Who knew Liverpool would be so shit this year? That's for starters. So realistically, I think anything's up for grabs, because who knew? Tom, problem, comments?
We have not played at 7 o'clock today. We've had our time to craft.
Well, I wasn't part of that stream, but you guys look like a mess. And here's the thing: I thought for sure the top 4 was going to include City, Tottenham, and Chelsea. So I thought it was going to be between us and Arsenal for the last top 4. Who knew that Arsenal was going to basically win every game other than us as well? I would have never predicted that. So realistically, I think
your crystal ball's not working too great then. If you're predicting
no. This is a Luke Shaw crystal ball.
There's a dodgy crystal ball over there. Wouldn't come to you from our horoscopes.
It's only for Luke Shaw. The crystal ball only works for Luke Shaw, nothing else. So realistically, I think we could push for it. I just think that there's gonna be inconsistencies within the season. That's gonna mean that we probably miss out, to be honest, because the team is just a little bit too new and a little bit too their confidence is like it's like, you know, that guy that got one girl and now he swear he gets girls.
Right, Tom. Listen, Dizzy, my friend, I really appreciate you coming on, mate, and waiting patiently. We'll chat to you again soon, mate. You take care. Top man. Thank you. But I know we joked about the league table earlier. I'm going to put it back up on the screen there for you to see.
Can we have 10th, please?
What? No, you're not.
Not enough space.
Yeah, we're top nine. Top nine is what we're doing. But yeah, there isn't enough space. It eats into the graphics on the bottom. But what we're saying about the top 4 race, is anyone changed their mind yet? Have Man United, as it's a United reaction, done anything to change your mind about making the top 4 or even being? Because the reason I ask is, in the build up to the season, nobody even put them in the race. They were written off. At the live event we did, most of the predictions the highest was 6th. Some people said maybe not even top 10. Where's everyone's heads at with Man United in terms of the season now?
The way it is right now, in terms of United, I think if you actually watch United games, they are making progress, but I just don't see them being as consistent enough to challenge Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham within that top 4 kind of space. And obviously City's already a shoo-in. So unless one of them, I feel like it'd be if one of them had fallen away a little bit, that's when United could pounce. I just think there's still so much more for you guys to develop on. I think your season so far reminds me of Arsenal last year. You lose the first couple of games, then all of a sudden you start to pick up form, you start to look nice, then you're like, can we believe? And then you start to think, can you overachieve your original expectations? And then you might just fall short. But I don't think that's a bad season considering where you were at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And where you're trying to build them.
Yeah.
I think you just need to be realistic around the expectations.
I think you're victims of the sense that a lot of the top 6 clubs have performed to expectations this season. If this was last season or the season before, you'd have been a sneak in for top 4. Because a Tottenham would have massively underperformed or a Chelsea would have massively underperformed. But based off what we've seen so far, only one top 6 club has underperformed expectations. That's not enough to let you in that Champions League door yet.
Yeah, I listen, I agree. I think the consistency needs to come. Having said that, if we win our game in hand, which I believe will be Leeds, that's the first one that's been rearranged, or Palace, we're 2 points behind Tottenham, who most TV pundits have raved about being sensational this year, and they haven't played with any real consistency. I don't put us in the top 4 race yet. I can't, because I don't have that much faith in my club. I just don't. However, if we can keep on the shoulders, maybe there's a chance. So if we can get to sort of February, March, and we are 3 or 4 points away from a 4th place, 3rd place position, depending how well everybody's doing, then the hope is, as you've said, somebody else maybe falls off.
A chance to get injuries or
something. Man United are going to need another team, in my opinion, to hit. Because I think if Spurs keep playing like this, if Chelsea get to a good level, I just don't think we'll have enough to surpass them. But to be near it, after everybody... Listen, Boovy on our show said lucky to be top 10. And I think in our heart of hearts, a lot of Man United fans were legitimately worried about that. And 2 games in, who knew the way it was going? So I'm very proud of where we are. I want to see more progression. But yeah, right now, I'm not predicting us being in the top 4. I think it's far too early to make those claims.
I agree.
I think. We've got some super chats here, and then we're going to talk about the real GOAT. First one says, I believe Man United will finish in the top 4 ahead of Chelsea. I don't believe Chelsea will finish ahead of Manchester United. It's fair. Marcy here says, Tom, will you take a right back who is good at creating goals or a right back who can defend? Context De Gea.
It depends how elite they are at certain things. So Trent Alexander, I know this is coming at Trent, and you know my opinions on Trent this season. I don't want him playing because he's not doing either well. If he was doing his goal creating at such a elite level, it was one of the best in the world, you could somewhat negate the defensive aspect. He's not doing that. So with De Gea, is he the best in the world at shot stopping? I don't think he is. So I can't negate his poor distribution to allow for that. That's just my opinion on it anyway.
Yeah. There we go. Nikhil here says, early days, I understand, but are Arsenal fans with everyone's consent allowed to celebrate?
You don't have my consent. You're not allowed my consent.
At least 2 back-to-back statement wins. Also, United can definitely finish top 4 after today's win. Come on, you Gooners. Yeah, listen, I think the way Arsenal fans have been ridiculed for celebrating, the way Arsenal have been ridiculed this season by people. It's going to come to an end soon because it's every week. I don't know who the creator is. There'll be a prominent content creator that has probably made a match reaction video going, I think I got it wrong. I'm changing my mind. You'll get different radio presenters. Within another 3 or 4 matches, they are all going to be on board the Arsenal have turned the corner bus, and there'll be no more moaning about celebrating. The cash cow of Arsenal losing has ended. And I think some people would just, they were just, long live the king almost. Remember how long it took from her passing to her burial, how much stuff we had to watch about the Queen, every TV show, adverts not being on TV. I think that's what some of the media are doing with Arsenal. They're in mourning that their cash cow of Arsenal being bad.
We're back, baby.
Is over. So yeah, that's why it's happened. But yeah, you definitely have permission. Ronaldo is the GOAT unless Messi wins the World Cup, is what Chelsea OG said. But Ronaldo has hit 700 league club goals now. I mean, are there any more words to use to describe the overall brilliance and career of this man?
Yeah, 100%. There's 3 words. Worse than Messi. Lionel Messi is forever the GOAT. Cristiano, fantastic player. Lionel Messi is a footballer, will forever be better. Forever be better in terms of what he does on the ball, how he dribbles, how he creates. Cristiano Ronaldo there is a 100% case for arguments as the best goal scorer of all time. The amount of finishes he gets.
I want to interject for a minute. I get that you prefer Messi. Let's just take Messi out of the equation. How good is Cristiano Ronaldo's career?
Fantastic. If you were to give any footballer Cristiano Ronaldo's career without context, taking it in a heartbeat, swapping any career for it, 5 Champions Leagues. Is it 5 Ballon d'Ors?
I think.
Got multiple league titles, multiple cups. Anyone has taken that in a heartbeat, and an international trophy, which is one of the hardest things to win. Anyone's taken that. And he's done it being the best player, playing multiple roles. You have to give credit to him for that. But Messi's better.
Yeah, and I think, listen, what frustrates me about the conversation, and I get why you're saying that, you're a Liverpool fan, Ronaldo's achieved almost as much as your whole football club's history.
Wow.
In terms of, success, he's better than any player that's ever played for your club. So I get that. Well, he is, because he's, whether people say Messi's the best or Ronaldo's the best, they're the top 2 ever.
Yeah.
And I get the hate that a United legend is one of the top 2 footballers of all time. But I think what frustrates me about the conversation is people never just talk about Ronaldo. They always come in with, but I think Messi's better. The conversation isn't that Messi's better. If I want to speak about how good Floyd Mayweather is as a boxer, I don't expect, but I think Ali was better. Yeah, but I'm asking you how good Mayweather was, or I'm asking you how good Canelo is, or I'm asking you how good Lennox Lewis was. And I think sometimes it's frustrating that you can't talk about one without the other one kind of being mentioned. And equally, what you then get into is sort of like, one's clear of the other, one's clear of this. And that's a preference thing for me. But when I look at Ronaldo, and I know he's getting a lot of stick at the minute because he's fallen off from being one of the greatest, being at that level. But do you think 700 club goals is astronomical? And when you also feel that he was only on 40 odd goals at 22 years of age. And I use that as an example because Haaland is already on 175. To put it into context, Haaland would have to score 40 goals a season every season for the next 15 years to catch Ronaldo. That's how many, I guess, career goals. And I think how good Haaland is. Haaland's got to maintain this level for a decade and some to catch Ronaldo. That's how good it is. It's phenomenally good.
It's a great achievement, completely. I think it's insane, the capabilities. And I think, unfortunately, no matter who you're talking about, whether it's Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, Haaland, unfortunately, you cannot talk about one without the other. It's just the nature of the beast. With that being said, I think, unfortunately for Ronaldo, well, not unfortunately for Ronaldo, but when you have these conversations, a lot of people who are maybe 16 and that kind of age range haven't necessarily seen the Ronaldo that we've grown up seeing. The Ronaldo that you've seen in the last 4 or 5 years is kind of the Ronaldo that they have in their minds when you try and discuss him. So it makes the conversation a little bit more difficult to have when you actually talk about, because when you say 700 goals, that seems insane. But when you lived it and you saw that, it really was, as you said, astronomical. And I don't think anyone will actually touch 700 career goals again. I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, him and Messi are going to do it. It's just an interesting one for me. And I get people want to play him down and slag him off. and I am protective of him because I'm a Man United fan, but I just enjoy him. Like, I prefer Ronaldo to Messi as a preference. I like the directness of his play. Of course, I've got an affinity and a soft spot because he played for Man United and he gave us some of the greatest moments in our club's history. But I like him. But I think Messi is sensational. I can't understand football fans that use one to play off against the other. I blame the parents again. Terrible parenting that they do that. Like, education on football is awful. But they're both just so good. And I don't think there are enough words in the dictionary to be able to describe the levels of consistency, the dedication to the sport. And what I love about Ronaldo is this guy came to England as an 18-year-old and took over and changed. People talk about inventing positions. The inverted forward. You read Gary Neville's book, Red, and what he started doing changed that position for footballers. He then moved to the left. He then moved centrally. He then became an out-and-out striker. But he moved to Spain and smashed it, become an absolute monster in the Champions League, moved to Italy, multiple goals, league titles. He even comes back to England, is playing for one of the worst Man United teams in 40, 50 years, and has still been our top goal scorer. To have gone to all those leagues and to have dominated, to have won things internationally, to be the highest international goal scorer in the history of the world, to do all of those things, I just don't like the thing of putting Messi into the conversation. Whether you think Messi's better or not, just for a moment, talk about how good Ronaldo is, because I just think it's disrespectful.
If you were to remove Messi from footballing history, Cristiano Ronaldo would be the unanimous GOAT by far. That's how good both their careers have been. If you were to remove one from the equation, both of them have been that good and have put numbers up that ridiculous that you would sit there and never conceive of a player doing that again.
I think they both needed each other.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you think if Messi didn't exist, that Ronaldo would be Ronaldo and vice versa?
That because it was that like mid to late 2010s period where you'd have Messi winning a few in a row, then Ronaldo would come back winning a few in a row in terms of Ballon d'Ors, and then Messi would win one, Ronaldo would win one. It pushed them on to reach levels that they would never have probably met if it was just.
Well, I think, yeah, you're right. I think if you look at tennis, we've just witnessed. I mean, they're all coming to the end now. Djokovic's still pretty strong, but Nadal, Federer, Djokovic. I believe that the reason they've all got so many slams is because of each other. They kept each other going. If Federer was clear and nobody was near him at all, he might have faded 4, 5, 6, 7 years earlier, because you get bored. The fact that those three kept each other. You know, the one guy that probably, and there was a picture of them all on the boat, we had Andy Murray in that mix. Like, I always felt sorry for Andy Murray, because if one of those guys weren't around, Murray probably wins anywhere between like 5 to 10 more Grand Slams in his career. And I do think you're right, Jess. I think they needed each other. They pushed each other. They kept each other fit and healthy and scoring. I think one of the biggest reasons Ronaldo wanted to leave this year was he wanted to try and keep scoring Champions League goal. You know, every night when Messi scores in the Champions League this season, it's going to hurt Ronaldo, because he wants that record, and he wants those, you know, and those two players are two of the only players out there that I think have the right to chase personal records, because they've won everything else barring the World Cup. And, you know, if one of them was to add that to the mix, and I can't see either but winning it, by the way, this time around, but if one of them added that to the mix, they would just have everything that you could ever imagine. And, you know, I love them both to get it. They're both not going to get it. They're both too old now. They both win a World Cup. But yeah, it's great to see Ronaldo do it. And, you know, do I want to see him move on from United? Yes, because my club is more important than any player. But I do feel that ironically, he is one of the most disrespected players I've come across on social media, based on how good he is to what people say about him. I actually read people saying things like, yeah, but he's never been that good a dribbler. And I'm like, bruv,
that's what I mean.
To say Ronaldo couldn't dribble, of course, Messi's a better dribbler than him. But to say he couldn't dribble when he was younger, I remember we did it in the studio. Javan, I remember this back in the old studio. Have Hope was like, he could never dribble. And then it took 30 seconds. He went on YouTube, Ronaldo dribbling, and it was just him twining up everyone in the Premier League. And then Have Hope sat again, yeah, but that's not really a dribble, is it? Like, so what is a dribble then? And he's like, well, he didn't weave through with 1 foot like Hazard does. I'm like, so now you're like,
Hope is an agenda merchant.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of people that had them kind of agendas. It's crazy.
The one that sat there and told me Erling Haaland can never be great because he doesn't look nice on the eye.
I mean, give it 10 years and see if Mbappe and Haaland have the same kind of back and forth in terms of like Ballon d'Ors, things like those kind of things will come in.
Yeah,
you're right. And I think the differences between Mbappe and Haaland are almost as, in terms of there's a contrast between them in the same way. They're different types of players who both score and perform and deliver at similar rates. So it's going to be very, very intriguing to see like which one of them kind of comes out on top. But and the PR game is important as well. Like, so right now it feels like Haaland's in the Prem, the biggest league in the world, so he's got a lot more eyes on him. Mbappe even needs to come to the Prem or go to the Liga, I think, to actually. You need the eyes on you. You need the eyes on you because people still aren't. And you know this. People aren't watching the French leagues because you can just check the viewing figures. No one's watching it. And they're not watching him either. So he needs to get himself to a league where millions and millions around the world each week are watching those games, because that's when status is half the battle when it comes to these types of awards and accolades. It's status and being seen.
What about popularity as well? Like just likability. Do you think that comes into play? Because Mbappe is not at the moment very likable at a young age. And Haaland seems like a nicer person to be around. I do think those things come into play when people start talking about years ago. I know that like obviously you'll compare goals and stuff, but I'm looking at it and I'm like,
I think that's why
right now I just like Haaland better.
You're right, because when you even look at the discourse over Pele, he's kind of he's one of the greatest ever. But the way he's become so unlikable as a person, people almost kind of not take him away from the conversation.
They'll never say it against him. I would say I just don't like him, but they'll use it subconsciously to go against him.
You do the joke, oh yeah, he's had 10 more goals for this thing now.
You've got it with Maradona, the late great Maradona. Obviously, there was always. I remember doing a stream that I think it was a day or day after he passed away with Rants and Grizz, and I'm kind of talking about how the English people had always been a little disrespectful of Maradona. The same as the Irish. If you actually went around and, barring Arsenal fans, asked the Irish, what do you think of Thierry Henry? That most Irish would not put Thierry Henry down as any kind of GOAT because of what he did to them with that handball. And that's how England fans felt about Maradona, because he did cheat in that game. And Maradona, of course, lost a lot of support from people because of the drugs, because of and everything else that he kind of did. But he was one of those there's a handful of these people in every industry in the world. No matter how bad or naughty or what they do, they're so talented that people forgive them. Paul Gascoigne has done a lot of mad things, but people in this country love him because he was so good at football. There's certain musicians and actors that have done some mad things, and everybody still listens to their music. Why? Because it was so good. But personality is massively important. And Haaland's got a character. Haaland's funny. I have never actually heard Mbappe speak. I don't know what his personality is like. And when I saw that footage of him bumping into Messi recently, I just saw this contract where he's kind of like a quote unquote sporting director or whatever it is. These things won't help him in terms of people liking him. And the one thing with Messi and Ronaldo, barring Real Madrid fans won't like Messi, and Barca fans and Liverpool fans and probably Arsenal fans as well won't like Ronaldo, teams that he hurt, but the majority of football love them both. Unless they're putting them off against each other. So of course it's important. And I think that's always why Henry, no matter what Aguero did, was always going to be seen as better, because Henry was one of those players that fans of all clubs liked and respected, right from his footballing ability, right down to Vavavoom.
It's almost that aura. When Thierry Henry was there, even though I think it's, it's that Vavavoom, that aura. Them moments that he had, that free kick against Wigan, was it? Where he sits there, puts it in, gets ruled out, does it again, and just sits there and goes, "That good enough?"
Yeah, there's nothing you can do but just respect it.
There's a swagger and a personality to it. Eric Cantona had it as well. You know, it was key. What does this one here say? Terry, just wear the Arsenal shirt already. Maybe one day. No, I'm only joking, but there we go. People, listen, I really appreciate everybody that has tuned into the shows today. It means a great deal to us. Please smash the like button before you leave. Subscribe and hit the bell notification button as well. We're back tomorrow with more content for you, including at 6 p.m, the Top 6 show. It's going to be a beaut. It's going to be a beaut. It's going to be a beaut tomorrow. Look out for the meme at the start. It's going to be amazing. Make sure you're tuning in. Tom Little, Colleen, thank you very, very much indeed. Jess, always a pleasure. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon.